I just quit my job, so this is probably the last free coffee I'm gonna get. But I got a new job, so that's exciting. This is not about my job. Good morning. So, as you may know, I have recently got a new sewing machine because my old sewing machine was trash and also it broke. So I've had this dream dress for a little bit now. I kind of like sketched it out. This is the dress that I have been dreaming of, and I don't know why, but it gives me like cottagecore vibes, which, as you may guess, is kind of a big thing for me. I've been thinking about this dress for quite a while, and then I was at the dead stock fabric store, and if you know me and you've been on this channel for a bit, you know I talk about this dead stock fabric store all the time because it's amazing. And I told my friend, we had gone together, I told her, I want to find like a olive green fabric, something like that, because I love olive green, it's one of my favorite colors, it looks really nice on me. So I would just like to find something, and when I find it, I'll know what I want to make. And then we walk in, and this is just on the floor, and I'm like, Lauren, this is exactly what I wanted. So I bought it. They only had 2¼ meters of it, and they gave me the whole thing for 10 pounds, so that was great. And it's got like I gotta put my coffee down, hold on. It's got a really nice drape to it. Like, I don't know what material this is. I'm gonna do a burn test to see. It's so thin and soft, and it's like really flowy, and it's exactly what I wanted, and I've been talking for like 3 minutes about this fabric because I love it. I need to go and pre-wash it, so I will be doing that. But about this dress, I thought it would be absolutely perfect for this. And so what I'm thinking is that I definitely want like a princess seamed bodice. I'm gonna do a gathered skirt because this fabric is just begging to be gathered. Like, it's so gatherable. And I want to try and do puffy sleeves that only have puff at the bottom and with a little band. I haven't drawn it very well. You can see how many times I messed with these sleeves because, again, I'm not an artist and I don't really know what I'm doing. And I want buttons all the way down the front, which I will probably regret because that's gonna be so many buttons. I did plan out this project because like I said, I just finished my old job and my new job starts this Saturday. Today's Tuesday. I basically have 4 days before my new job starts, and it's gonna be very intensive. So I'm gonna try and finish this in 4 days, and I have allocated an entire day just for the buttons because I know they're gonna take forever. The really cool thing about my new sewing machine is that it has so many different stitches. I know that there are machines that have more stitches, and I don't know how many more stitches you could ever want because this has so many stitches, and it can do buttonholes. And I've only ever done buttonholes by hand, and don't get me wrong, I love hand sewing buttonholes, but there's a lot of freaking buttonholes, man. And it's gonna go so much faster with a sewing machine. We're not gonna get into this fabric today because I need to pre-wash it and let it dry. So instead, today we are going to commit some mild plagiarism. I wanted to try and copy a dress that I already have because I have bought patterns and I have tried drafting my own patterns, and both have their pros and cons. But today I thought I would experiment with copying a dress I already own. So here is the bodice that I want to copy. I'm not going to copy the skirt because it's just going to be a gathered rectangle. But this bodice, it has, I think, 2 panels on each side on the front and then 2 panels on the back and a zipper up the back. I'm not going to do the zipper. I'm just going to have the buttons down the front. But I like that it has the princess seam and it looks like a pretty simple pattern. So I think I can maybe make this work, and you know, I'll get to try a new method of pattern drafting, which is always exciting. So that's the game plan for today. I'm going to try and copy this one, and I'm going to make my first mock-up of the bodice. And we'll see how that goes. Let's get to sewing. I haven't actually done this before, but I have seen other videos explaining it. There was one where somebody copied like a Selkie dress, and I will link that one below. I can't remember the channel name, but she's really cool. So I think the best way to do this, I'm gonna spread out the first piece about as flat as I can get it. Pin it to the paper, I think. You know, I can almost poke through the seam with the pencil. Yeah, okay. So this is working. Alrighty, so this is mock-up number 1. Hopefully the only mock-up. I don't want to say mock-up number 1. This is the mock-up. Actually, it fits really well. I'm quite pleased with how this turned out. I was not expecting this to go this well. The only things that I think I'm gonna change are, I want this neckline to be square, kind of like the one I'm wearing now. I think I'll raise this just a little bit. I think I'm just gonna square it off. So I'll mess with the pattern a little bit, but I don't think I need to do another mock-up because this, like, the fit is kind of perfect. So I'm really, really happy with that. Yay! I love it when mock-ups turn out well. Also, the back, it looks good. I think I might do the same thing and just kind of square off the back. And I might raise the neckline a little bit. Also, straps. I think where this is hitting is about where I want the strap. So that makes sense to me. I'll just have a 1-inch strap. I think I want the arm side where it is. I am a little bit concerned that it might be a bit too big because obviously it makes sense. That dress is sleeveless and I definitely want sleeves on this dress. I might mess with the pattern just a little bit and just bring up the arm size slightly because it's always better to be able to cut away. Also, I need to add the placket to the front. So I will probably just make those changes on paper, tape it together, try it on, and we'll be good to go. Amazing, I think we've got a pattern. This strap going into the arm's eye is a little bit funny. Straps definitely need to be shortened, but that makes sense. I knew that the strap was gonna be a mess no matter what, because I just kind of roughly sketched where it should be. Good news is I think the arm's eye is gonna be just about right now, and that was the main issue that I was worried about. Once I adjust the strap, I think this will be good enough to get started with the real fabric. Like I said, I'm gonna do a lining for this, so I think I will just cut out 4 of each piece and line it with the same fabric. And I will probably do a bag lining. I don't think I'm gonna flat line this one because it doesn't need that much structure, the bodice really, but I would like it to have some structure because you saw how like drapey that fabric is. Now that I'm thinking about it, while I'm drafting and doing mock-ups and things, maybe I should just do the sleeve right now. I had planned it for another day, like a day of just sleeves, but since I have to wait for my fabric to dry anyway, I think we can just go ahead and make a sleeve mock-up today too. I am really liking the way that this is looking so far. I think this is gonna be really good. Let's figure out how to draft a sleeve. So I have found a really good tutorial on how to draft exactly the kind of puffy sleeve that I want. So I'm gonna just link the video down below and you can go and follow it yourself. But yeah, let's just speed through this. So that is the sleeve pattern draft. Lots of fullness at the bottom. And then this is just the sleeve band, so that's gonna get folded in half. This is no seam allowance, but this is gonna get folded in half and stitched to the bottom of the gathers. So I think it is time for a mock-up. Oh, I ripped the stitch. Exactly what I want. It's perfect. It is literally exactly what I wanted. That is a good pattern. Go and check out that video because that was a really good tutorial. Like I whipped that together in 15 minutes, which is unheard of for me. I take forever to do anything. So yeah, okay. I think that is it for the mock-up phase. So I will see you when my fabric is dry because it's Still drying. It's taking its sweet time. I'm pretty happy so far. I haven't had any, like, massive problems yet. Fingers crossed. Knock on wood. I will see you in a bit. Okay, so fabric is washed and dried. I did do a quick burn test on this fabric just now, and I think it is cotton. It's definitely natural because it didn't turn into like that plasticky stuff that you get with synthetic fabrics. I just have never seen a cotton that behaves like this, but I know linen wrinkles really easily, and this isn't doing that. Maybe it's a blend. I don't know. It smelled like paper. Somebody tell me what this fabric is. I love it. It's definitely natural, which makes me happy because quick story time. It was like the hottest day of the summer a few days ago, or at least it felt like it. And I was wearing this like light and flowy top, or I thought it was light and flowy. And then I was like, why am I sweating so much? Because I don't sweat very much. This is a weird thing about me. I don't sweat very much. And I was sweating like mad. And then I looked at the tag and I was like, oh, it's 100% polyester. That makes sense. And so now I never want to wear polyester again. Anyway, that was a tangent. Let's cut out some fabric. Okay, hi. I've been avoiding talking on camera because it's been like thundering outside and you wouldn't have been able to hear me because my flat is like a drum. This is all sewn together now at the front and the neckline and everything. I've left the arm size and the bottom edge open because I'll finish those when I add the sleeves and the skirt respectively. Now I basically just need to figure out the shoulders. So right now we're looking at the inside of the bodice. I put it wrong sides together. Now this is the front, this is the back. Take the back strap and wrap it around the front and then pin. And I'm sure there are much easier ways of doing this. I know I just looked up how other people do this, and I think a lot of people do the shoulder seam first. I wanted to see if I could kind of figure out a way to do this on my own. Next time I might try and do the shoulder seam first, because that seemed to make sense. Anyway, that will be the shoulder seam then. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hand sew that into place, and then I'll show you how it looks. Hey guys, I have a quick question, just a real little thing. Why do I keep making things that look like Shrek? I think this will look really cute once I have the buttons in, but at the moment it's giving Shrek, and guys, I can't keep making things that look like Shrek. So, couple little issues. The straps that I've just done, I think they're fine. The arm size are way too high, but I knew that. I drafted this knowing that the arm size were going to be too high because I needed to figure out how they were going to fit with the sleeves. So I'm not worried about that. I'm going to get to that when I do the whole sleeve thing, which I don't think I'm going to get to today. That might be another day. I've got like a little bit of gaping at the back. I might just pinch in the top slightly here. So I might alter that slightly just to make that fit a little bit better because you can see how much room there is there. Other than that, I think it has potential. I honestly think it will look so much better with the buttons and the skirt and everything, and I think this is one of those things where I just need to trust the process and fingers crossed. It fits well, so that's good. That's a good thing. I think I'm gonna leave it there for today because I've done a lot of work and also it's raining really hard and I just kind of want to cozy up with a hot chocolate and a book. So I'm not gonna do that, but tomorrow I will start on the skirt. So tomorrow will be the skirt and you'll see when I get to tomorrow. I don't know. I have it all written down as a plan and I think I'm out of spoons for today. So I will see you tomorrow for whatever we do tomorrow. Goodbye. Hello. I hadn't thought about what I was gonna say past hello. I think I'm gonna start today with the sleeves because I have been procrastinating. The bodice is like almost finished and so I feel like I should put some sleeves on it. I'm not great with sleeves, I'm not like the worst at them, but I haven't quite figured out how I'm doing this with the bag lining, because I don't think I have done that with sleeves before. I will figure it out. Let's just get started. I don't know. So we have sleeves. I think I did an okay job of doing the... Alright, this one does not look great from the inside, but it looks okay from the outside, and everything that needs to be covered is covered, so I'm just gonna leave it. So I need to figure out how I'm putting these into the bodice now. I did think about just like folding in the seam allowance on the bodice, because this is like a lined bodice, right? I could just fold in the seam allowance on both sides and then like find a way to sandwich the sleeve in between. I mean, actually, yeah, and then I could just top stitch it. Okay, we're just gonna do it this way. I'll press in the seam allowance and then I'll put the sleeve in between the layers and just top stitch all around. I think that'll be the easiest way. I did pin the sleeve in with the, like, right at the seam allowance to try it on. The arm side definitely needs to come in a bit, so I'm just gonna trim away at it. I think I'll trim it, pin the sleeve back in, try it on a couple times, which I kind of have to do without this top on, so you're not gonna see that. But you can see, like, when I drafted the pattern, I knew that this was a weird angle on the, like, the front piece going into the arm side. I'm gonna try and just even up this curve a little bit, and I'll just go around and I'll try to be careful, and then I'll try to mirror it on the other side. This is all gonna be a little bit trial and error because I don't quite know what I'm doing. So I have pinned the sleeves into place. I also had to gather the top of the sleeve ever so slightly because it didn't quite fit into the arm's eye, which makes me think that the arm's eye is still maybe a little bit too small and too high. I tried it on with the pins in and I think I like it the way it is. I have like a lot more mobility. I have also decided that I'm gonna fell both sides of this in place by hand, I think. Now, will this take twice as long? Yes, probably. Will it also be neater? Yes. Am I doing this because I'm scared of my machine? Well, sleeves are on, which means the bodice is pretty much done. I'm gonna put it on real quick. Okay, it looks terrible with this shirt under it, but I really like it. Yay! Look at how cute and puffy! Ah! And now it no longer looks like Shrek with the sleeves, funnily enough. Maybe I just don't look good in vests. I haven't quite decided on that one yet. Anyway, that's not the point. I have like an hour and a half to do the skirt, and I really want to get the skirt done today, but I am meeting some friends later. I will try and get as much of the skirt done as I can. I think I can get it done. I just don't think I'll be able to attach it to the bodice, unfortunately, today. I think I can do that tomorrow and then put on the buttons, and then this thing will be done. I didn't cut out the skirt when I cut out the rest of the pieces because I just wanted to see like how much I had left, and I hadn't done all the math on how I actually want to do it yet, but let me show you what we got. So I'm gonna cut this out in 3 rectangles. I'm just doing a gathered skirt, and because this is a front closing dress with buttons, I'm gonna have the front pieces have plackets. Basically, I just need an extra like 1.5 inches on each of the front pieces. So I've done the math. Math is kind of boring, but if you want it, there it is. I don't know. The point is, I've got it figured out. Let's just cut the thingy out. I don't know. They're just rectangles. Why am I overthinking this? Oh, also, I haven't decided if I want this to be floor length or calf length yet. So let me see how much fabric we actually have. is all that remains of my 2¼ meters of fabric. This is my shortest piece of fabric, and therefore this one will determine the length of the skirt. I'm just gonna cut all the other pieces to match this length. I'm gonna do this in kind of a weird way. I'm actually gonna do the front seam first. The way that I'm doing this for the buttons is I'm gonna have a placket like so. Now, the thing is, I don't want to do like 20,000 buttons and buttonholes mostly. I'm gonna have to do the buttons no matter what, but I really don't want to have to do the buttonholes. I will do like, I don't know, 4 real buttonholes, and then the rest will all just be fake buttons, and the front panel will be stitched together as a seam. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sew the plackets down first, and then once the plackets are sewn, sew the seam together with one placket over the other, so that I will just sew all the way up the seam like that, and then when it gets to the part where I want to leave it open, this part gets folded out of the way, and I continue just top stitching one of like the placket that's going to be in front. So I'll just top stitch it all the way up so that it looks like one continuous seam, and it looks like the placket keeps going and it's not just like fake buttons. So I'll just have buttons on there, and then that'll be top stitched. So this is the front panel of the skirt complete. Well, not complete. I have to do 10,000 buttonholes and buttons, but that's 1, my own fault, and 2, for tomorrow. I think I have made pretty decent progress for today. So tomorrow I'm gonna finish the skirt, which I don't think will take too long because I've done like a bazillion French seamed skirts with pockets. I'm kind of a pro at it by now. Then I need to hem the skirt, attach it to the bodice, and do the buttons and buttonholes. I think I can get this done tomorrow, and I'm really excited with how this is going. Yay, progress! Hello, it is a lovely grey morning in London today. So let's finish a dress, shall we? Okay, so skirt is basically done and gathered. Whoa, I didn't secure the gathering, but I will. So for attaching this to the bodice, which I think I'm gonna do next, what I'm gonna do is I've left 1/2 inch of seam allowance here. I'm just gonna fold in both sides of the lining, sandwich the skirt in between, and just top stitch it. That seems like the easiest way to me, so that's what I'm gonna do. So I have added 10,000 pins. I might actually baste this. I normally try and avoid basting things because I hate it, but I might baste them because I do not trust these gathers. So I'm gonna baste it and then I'm gonna stick it in the machine, but look at how cool this looks! I feel like a princess! I love it so much. I cannot wait for this to be done. In multiple ways I cannot wait for this to be done. But mostly I cannot wait for this to be done so that I can wear it. Oh my god, it's perfect. Right now it is hitting right at my ankle, so I think I'm gonna do a really narrow hem. Sorry, I don't know what to say. I really love this. The bodice is officially attached to the skirt, and honestly, you know, it is functional. There are a couple of like questionable places where the I didn't quite catch the seam allowance on the inside, I can just overcast that bit. That's a little bit of a gather that just didn't get stitched in. I figured that was gonna happen. I think that always happens when you do something by machine. It's not gonna be like totally perfect, but overall I'm really happy with it, and I think that it's secure enough for me to continue. I'm also gonna take out my basting stitches because those are ugly. Hold on. So next order of business, I think, will be to hem it, and then buttons and buttonholes, and then it's done! Ah! I'm so excited! Good news, the hem is done, and I think it looks good. Bad news, I'm really scared I'm gonna run out of thread. I literally just have to do the buttonholes with this thread and the machine, and the buttons I will have to sew on by hand anyway, and I could probably get away with using like a black thread or something, so fingers crossed that this is enough thread, and if it's not, I will just go and get some more. I have time. I'm gonna take a little lunch break and then we will do the buttonholes. I've gone ahead and marked my buttonholes. I'm only doing 10 real ones, and then right here is where that split is, so from here these will all be buttons. I just covered 24 buttons by hand. My fingers are dead. And Rashali, I hear you say, but there's a tool for that. Why would you do it by hand? Yeah, I got the stupid tool, and it broke after like 3 buttons. Like this bit just, I don't know if you can even see like how warped it is. But yeah, then the buttons kept getting stuck, and so I had to do them by hand. Don't worry, I got the hang of it by like the 15th button. That was a detour. I was supposed to be doing the buttonholes, and then I was like, I'm gonna procrastinate on the buttonholes and do the buttons instead, and that was a mistake. This whole thing has been a mistake. All of these stupid little buttons. If you're gonna do covered buttons, don't get the 11mm ones. They're too freaking small and fiddly, and this one's falling apart, and it's making me sad. Now I have to get back to the buttonholes. My fingers hurt so bad though. Oh my god, this was a mistake. I don't know if you can really see, but I've used my, this washable pen to mark the buttonholes. They're about 1.5 centimeters wide, because that's just a little bit bigger than the buttons, so hopefully that should work. I think you're not actually supposed to like center them on wherever you want the button to go. Like the button would be centered, right? But the buttonhole you set slightly off. This bit will actually be the bit that's right in the middle, right? Because that's the bit where it catches. So, oh my god, can you see like how messed up my nails are from doing all the buttons? I'm gonna use my machine and do all of these buttonholes. Luckily only 10. Not as bad as 24 buttons that I'm gonna have to sew on in a minute. Never actually, I mean, I practiced a little bit on buttonholes, but I still don't really know what I'm doing, so I guess we will figure this out. I'm aware that this video is probably getting very long, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of the buttons off camera. I will put the buttons on, and then I think we'll be ready for a reveal. So I will see you soon. Hello, so I am editing, and I just realized that I completely forgot to do the wrap-up and outro and everything. Like, I literally took the reveal shots and I just never filmed the outro, so let's do it now. I should say that I made this dress now like a week and a bit ago. Work has been really crazy. I just started my new job, and it's just the hours are very long. And so this video is going out late. I'm sorry about that. I might have to cut down on my sewing in general. I just don't have time, but let's talk about the dress. Generally, I'm really happy with it. I love the sleeves. I think they're exactly what I wanted, and they just have the perfect amount of puff. They are exactly how I envisioned them. I mostly like the bodice. It is quite a bit loose. I think at one point I had said that the back felt like it was gaping and I should fix that, and then I just like never fixed it. And you know, I think this is a bit of a problem with bag linings in general. They are just really hard to alter afterwards. If I was gonna do this again, I would either forego the lining and just do French seams, or I would flatline it. I have flatlined things before, and I think I prefer that the way those turn out anyway. Bag lining seems easier because it's like less basting, but I think it probably evens out to the same amount, so I might flatline it next time. Now the skirt, I have found that I actually don't like gathered skirts very much on my body type. I just don't like them very much. I like things that are very like fitted at the waist, I think. So I would do a circle skirt if I was gonna do this again. I probably wouldn't do another gathered skirt. And I need to remember this because I have made gathered and pleated skirts before, and every time I'm like, I wonder why I don't like this. It's just my personal preference. I know people who look really good in gathered skirts, and I think it's just not I just don't like the way they look on me. The buttons were a pain in the butt. Sorry, that was a really bad joke. They look beautiful. I really love the way they turned out. Again, exactly as I had designed it. Like, it looks really pretty, but oh my God, those buttons! My fingers were hurting for like 3 days afterwards. No, never again with those stupid small covered buttons. I might go with like slightly larger ones next time even, just to have less of them, honestly. This is gonna sound like I'm complaining a lot, but I do have like a bullet point list of things that, you know, things that I liked, things that I would improve, just things that I've learned from this project, essentially. I don't love the back neckline. I think it could be that it's square, or it could be that it's too low, or it could be that it's too wide. I'm not entirely sure. I did kind of just wing it on the back, so I'm not really sure how to fix that now. It's fine, like, I don't hate it, but I don't really know how it would fix it. I've also had a problem with the sleeves falling off a little bit. So yeah, it might be something to do with the width of the back neckline. So as far as drafting, I think that went really well. Again, this was my first time kind of drafting something based off of something that I already own, and honestly, it went super well. Like, I was surprised by how well that went. Normally things don't go that well for me when I try and draft my own stuff. But yeah, I would definitely do that again. I think that's a really cool way of making a pattern. Especially, I feel like it was pretty beginner friendly, honestly. I feel like anybody could find a garment that they like and just copy the seams. It didn't feel like particularly challenging. So that was good. I really enjoyed that process, actually. I actually have realized why people like having seam allowance included in their patterns. My old machine didn't have like a stitch guide, and so I could never tell like exactly how big my seam allowance was gonna be. I would mark the stitch line and I would just follow it with the foot. But now that I have a better machine and it's got a stitch guide, I see why people like, because you can just line it up and it's so much easier. So I might try that next time. I have almost always cut my patterns net. Even when I get patterns, I cut off the seam allowance. So I think next time I will try it with whatever seam allowance is given and just see how that goes, because honestly it is kind of a pain in the butt to like have to mark the stitch line because it, you know, it rubs off, or you have to like baste it, or, you know, thread mark it or whatever. It's just a bit annoying. So yeah, next time I think I will try it the modern way. We'll see how that goes. But I think that is everything that I have to say about this project. Like I said, my uploads might be a little bit more sporadic. I'm not entirely sure if I'm gonna get time to sew in the next like 6 months, but I will try because I love it, and it's, you know, it's a hobby and it's really enjoyable, and I like making videos. I like reading people's comments, so thank you for everybody who's like subscribed and commented. I cannot believe that people actually want to watch me bumble around about my sewing machine, but there it is. So thank you for coming along on this dressmaking adventure. I hope it was fun for you. It was fun for me, and I will see you next time.